Trailblazers, man. I don't know about y'all, gentlemen. I don't care to watch Trailblazers. They are not an appealing team at all. I probably watched maybe like 2 or 3 games of them, and they just have they're one of those teams that just got random young players, and you can tell they're not really trying to win right now. Like they just like let's just see what happens. And I know they ain't trying to win or at least halfway develop because they're not starting Scoot Henderson. They got Malcolm Brogdon there, who I'm assuming is playing like a mentor for Scoot Henderson, show him the ropes, be a professional, things of that nature. And Scoot Henderson himself has had a few injuries this year. He had an ankle injury early in November. He had a calf strain in recent weeks, so he's been kind of up and down with his development for the season. But I mean, I'm not really surprised because he's a point guard, and point guards take time to develop. I mean, we just mentioned Kay Cunningham. He had a questionable first year. He couldn't buy a bucket, but now he's a 23 point per game scorer, getting a little bit more comfortable in the league. But with Scoot Henderson, man, what do y'all want to see from Scoot Henderson next year for him to show y'all that he's progressing in the league? For me, I want to see a jump shot. Like he already has the physical traits. He's big. He can play defense. He's physical. But in order to survive and to be respected, you got to make a jump shot, man. To compare it to somebody else, there were teams that were sagging off of John Morant early on in his career. And we saw a little bit last year and even a little bit this year once he came back from the suspension, where John Morant was making these teams pay with knocking down that shot. Scoot has never really been a knockdown shooter. And I'm wondering for him, because he's so physically strong, is it a matter of like he's shooting too hard at the rim to where he can't knock it down?
No, if Russ can do it, he can do it, man.
Right. Even Russ had like a rough start at the beginning. But for some reason, Russ was able to be money from that mid-range in OKC. Like he was, his pull-up jumper was money. So for me, I gotta see a jumper from Scoot Henderson, man, because like I was kind of iffy on just his overall trajectory. I mean, I knew he had the physical talent, but it's a matter of you got to have a jump shot in order to be viable in the league. But what do y'all think?
I'm trying to figure out why there was so much of a debate that we had, and I'm not just saying anyone, but all of us, about him and coming from the G League. I G League highlights fooled me for Scoot. I can tell you that to the point where I'm like, why did the Hornets not get Scoot? Like, I still would have got Scoot over Brandon Miller, but lo and behold, management saw something different from Charlotte. Thank God they did, because Brandon Miller is hooping, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, over Scoot Henderson. So I don't know what I want to see out of Scoot Henderson. I do know what I want to see glimpses of what I saw with him in the G League. It's that simple. I understand it's going to take time for him to develop. To say that Malcolm Brogdon is starting over you, I guess because Malcolm Brogdon wasn't he Rookie of the Year? No. Yeah, Rookie of the Year. Maybe he was trying to learn how to be Rookie of the Year.
I think he was Sixth Man of the Year too, if I'm not mistaken. He's something.
Yeah, he's something of the year. But Scooter's Bench of the Year right now. And so, are we going to fall into the same situation with Scoot Henderson with Anthony Simons as well with the Blazers? Because eventually Malcolm's going to have to move on. And I don't know, man. Bad situation for Scoot. I don't think anyone else will take him on after this. And the teams that we've named on this podcast today, the Blazers and the Pistons, ain't no veteran going to come and play for them. Nobody. So how do you get it? You have to trade stuff away, which would be, I guess Jeremy Grant. I don't even care what his value is.
I like him and Simons, to be honest, because I'm tired of Simons with the Blazers, man. I feel like he's just
yes,
like he's just there to get a check and get buckets. Like he don't. I don't know what Anthony Simons is. I don't. I mean, I know what he is. I know he can score. I know he don't play defense. But like he was there with Dame when Dame wasn't. They weren't doing anything post CJ McCollum, and it's like now he's just like a light skinned dude that can get 25 points a game.
Yeah,
he's like Zach LaVine basically.
Wow,
it's literally what he is.
I'm gonna leave that Zach LaVine comment alone. But the Blazers are in a bad position. They're going to continue to be in a bad position. What got them out? What made the Blazers relevant was drafting and getting Dame Lillard. The Blazers won't be relevant again until they have a good draft choice and pick. And I'm not sorry for that. That's just how the Blazers have been post Sheed, Wallace, and them. That era after that, no one's really talked about the Blazers unless Damian Lillard was to be talked about. CJ McCollum as well when he got there as well. So to me, Scoot has no choice but he's going to phase out. I'm going to go on record and saying he may get a second contract, but he's not going to get a third at all.
So you think he'll be a bust then?
Yes.
Ooh, I lean more towards bust too as well, honestly. But go ahead, too.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly disagree with the both of y'all. I agree with y'all about the jump shot. Like he definitely needs the jump shot, at least develop some kind of mid-range to make him more effective and be more of a leader on the floor. But when you talk about the Blazers and Scoot, I think that we kind of got to look at the front office or their front office, and that be the reason why they're hindering him. Because if you talked about Dame Lillard being drafted by the Blazers. When he got drafted, he literally came in and got the keys to the organization. You talk about Scoot, that's not necessarily the case when you got somebody like a Jeremy Grant still putting up 21 a game. Shout out to Jeremy, that's my dog. But front office management should have had him gone out of Portland. You talk about Anthony Simons, who you could definitely get some. That's 15, 20 points a game. Even if somebody was to put him off the bench, he a bucket. But still, you're still hindering and taking the ball out of Scoot's hands. And again, the Sheedy, you saw what we saw from the Ignite in Scoot Henderson. Give him the ball and let's see what you can do, young fella. He really haven't had that chance because, again, you still got Malcolm Brogdon, who's starring point guard, got the ball in his hands. He should not be on this Blazers team. I don't care what nobody says. He's way too good of a player to be on this Blazers team. So you got all three of these players, and you got somebody that believed that there's a top 5 center in DeAndre Ayton. When is Scoot gonna be able to shine?
Yeah.
So that's my thing when I look at Scoot Henderson. Does he have the talent? Absolutely. Does he need work with the shooting? Absolutely. But the body's there, and the talent and the eyes there. So I think he will get a second and a third contract. It'll probably be with the Blazers, but they got to give him the keys and let him go and then see how they can build around him and who their top 5 center in DeAndre Ayton and see where that goes. They said it, not me. They said it, not me. I didn't say that shit.
My fear with Scoot is that he will end up becoming like Chris Dunn, man. Like Chris Dunn is like what top 5, top 4 pick from was it Providence? I think Providence.
When he like the top point guard pick that like everybody.
Like he was. Steph, he was like a senior though, so he's a little bit older, so he was more established. This is what he is. But my fear is that he can't shoot. He's just 6'3" and 210 pounds, and he just doesn't do anything particularly well that has long-term success in the league. Like he's gonna have to be able to shoot in order for him to get respected. I mean, we've seen De'Aaron Fox, for example. He was not a good shooter when he came to the league, and now he's obviously a much more respected scorer.
He had to grow into it, bro.
Fox and Scoot Henderson, I think Scoot was more sought after coming out of college, but I mean, Fox is a Kentucky yard, and we know about Kentucky yards at this point. That's
draft you one. Get you one.
But I hate that I'm leaning towards bust because I know the rule for you two is 3rd-year point guard, so give him some time to season. But the Blazers are not even trying to play him right now. They just got him. I mean, I know he was hurt, but he's been on the bench, and I'm like, if your team already sucks, why is he not starting? Like I don't.
Right.
That's why we got to look at them. That's why we got to look at them.
It blows my mind, man. And to me, like with the NBA draft, it's not about where in terms of like positioning, but the organization, and like they just shitted on him this season, man. I know he was hurt, and you trying to get him back, but when you take this player that high and he's a popular player, you gotta play him, man. I hate when they do that stuff. Like so, for example, like with a quarterback in the NFL draft.
Sure.
Like if you're a 1st-round pick, you playing. I'm sorry. Like I just wasted a resource on you, and you not playing. Like I don't get that, man. And we see it's a sink or swim league. Either you're gonna play well or you're not gonna play well, and we'll figure it out. We got you for at least 3-4 years, man. We picked you for a reason. We believe in you. Showcase that. Like, showcase that I believe in you as a player, Scoot. I'm going to start you. If you get hurt, that's fine. We're gonna rehab, put you in the G League for a second, and bring you back up. For them to have only started him like what 18 games, that's malpractice as an organization. Ryan says probably need to look at what Bills is doing to develop those young players as well. I forgot that he was still coach. I thought he got fired, to be honest. And I won't be surprised they fired him. I would not be surprised. Like, speaking of the Pistons, like Chauncey Billups, like you got to show that you can develop these players, man. Like, you got to show that you can. Oh,
that's crazy. And honestly, if you think about Chauncey Billups in a comparison,
he bounced around the league before he settled in.
But his comparison as a player, in my opinion, would probably be somebody like a Malcolm Brogdon. So that's honestly probably why he's still there as well. Like, he's seeing the offense through Malcolm Brogdon. So I mean, Scoot may have to dip out of Portland to be great.
You know what, too? That's an amazing point, because a lot of the point guards that become coaches, they want an extension of themselves on the court. So that makes a lot of sense.
Jason Kidd and Luka.
Jason Kidd, makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I'm kind of sad for Scoot, because I wanted him to do well. I mean, I'm not gonna wish him worse, obviously, but like I didn't see him shooting when he got in the league, and now that he's not doing it, it's just kind of like, see, told you.